Cedar Fair for 2023 is looking like a great year. All of the announcements were revealed on August 11th, and the additions look great. The parks getting new additions are Carowinds, Cedar Point, Knott's Berry Farm, Worlds of Fun, and Canada's Wonderland. But which of these additions are the best? These are my rankings of the Cedar Fair announcements. Before we get into it, let me just say I have in-depth videos on Carowinds, Cedar Point, and Worlds of Fun, so make sure to check those out. Number 5, Canada's Wonderland. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even realize Canada's Wonderland had an announcement until later in the day, and I was pretty disappointed. The main addition in typical Canada's Wonderland fashion was a big flat ride called Tundra Twister. This will be located in the Frontier Canada section right next to Yukon Striker. The ride is a pretty unique concept. Think of all those small frisbee rides like Chaos at Waldemere, but on a bigger scale, and also with two separate cars that spin like a top spin. As the ride swings all the way over, the two cars rotate up and down, causing countless inversions. This looks like a pretty thrilling ride, and it is going to stand tall over the pathway, intimidating the guests. But here's my problem. Look at Canada's Wonderland's flying up at flats. Did they need this? There are a ton of flats in the park like this. For example, Riptide, Soaring Timbers, Cyclone, Shockwave, Lumberjack, and Skyhawk are all very similar. I feel like they just added this to say they have two new rides. And the other ride is actually a coaster called Snoopy's Racing Railway. They barely gave us any stats for the ride, which was unfortunate, but we do know it is a clone of the Fantasiana coaster called something I will not try to pronounce. The ride itself is an art engineering family coaster in the kiddie section. It features a swing launch out of the station and a rolling launch halfway through and looks like a decent family coaster. But again, I have some problems. Don't get me wrong, the rides here look fantastic, but there are still some issues. This coaster looks very similar to Thunder Run and Backlot Stunt Coaster, and all different concepts. They're all family coasters with launches or powered trains. Also, I'm worried about the capacity. Canada's Wonderland is one of the busiest parks in North America, and a one-train coaster for families won't be great. The Bat is different because it's old and never gets lines. This coaster is going to have over an hour wait easily. I think the additions are fine, but I feel like Canada's Wonderland didn't need these rides, placing it at number 5. Number 4, Knott's Berry Farm. Knott's Berry Farm didn't get any new rides, but had quite a big addition. The whole Fiesta Village area will be getting a big revamp. This was a needed revamp, and I'm glad Cedar Fair is putting some more emphasis on the overall atmosphere in their areas. You'll see this with the announcements coming up. But the main addition is that Montezuma's Revenge will now be Montezuma, the Forbidden Fortress. The whole ride will be receiving a facelift with two noticeable changes. The first is a bad change. The ride will be receiving comfort collars based on the announcement. Comfort collars aren't horrible, but it would have been nice to stick with the lap bars. But on the bright side, the ride now has a randomized launching system where trains will either launch forward first into the loop or backward first into the spike. This will make for more re-rideability with Montezuma, and I'm excited to see a POV of it. The only reason this place is low is that the other announcements have a lot more going for them. Number 3, Carowinds. Once again, Cedar Fair is emphasizing overall areas. The worst part of Carowinds was the Crossroads section, the part with the least amount of rides, buildings, and people. This whole section will be receiving a facelift. Part of the Crossroads, where Yo-Yo, Dodgem, Southern Star, and Plants vs. Zombies were, will now be known as Aeronautica Landing. This aviation-themed area will include 4 new rides and a retheme of Dodgems to Hover and Dodge. These rides will be a chance wipeout called Gyro Spin. This is the weakest addition in my opinion, as the ride is similar to some of the rides added in the County Fair section before. But these rides are always fun and a good family ride. Another ride is a Zamperla Air Race called Air Race. This will be the most thrilling ride in the section. Air race rides, while I've never experienced one, look to be incredibly thrilling and dizzying, fitting the theme of the area perfectly. Another ride is Air Walker, similar to a Zamperla Disco, just with inward-facing cars. I'm glad Carowinds finally got a swing ride like this, and while I wish it was a pendulum, I can't complain. These rides are great. Finally, Gear Spin is a Zamperla Nebulas, which are fantastic family rides. In addition to the new rides, the paths and overall area will be getting an upgrade, including a new restaurant called Terminal A. Aeronautica Landing looks like a fantastic addition. Number 2, Cedar Point. This is where it gets interesting, as these next two are swapped frequently, but I think number 2 is Cedar Point. Cedar Point only has one new ride coming, but it is a huge area that is being revamped. The whole lakeside midway will now be the boardwalk. The centerpiece is the Grand Pavilion, a massive 2-story building overlooking the lake with a restaurant, bar, and unique viewing opportunities. In addition to a relocated Scrambler and Matterhorn to the area, a small spinning coaster called Wild Mouse will be joining the park. In my opinion, Wild Mouse is a perfect fit for the park. Yes, it isn't a big new thrill coaster, but Cedar Point was in desperate need of a family coaster. This revamp will be greatly appreciated as Lakeside Midway was a dead zone in the park. Now with new flats, a coaster, the pavilion, and tons of new scenery and paths, the boardwalk will be a big hit. I'm glad Cedar Point has a new part of the park to explore. And number 1, Worlds of Fun. That leaves the smallest park for the best announcements. Worlds of Fun is receiving Zambezi Zinger, a thrilling GCI Titan track coaster with brand new trains, a spiral lift hill, and tons of whippy airtime moments. Now, I wish the ride wasn't so similar to Prowler, but this was the best announcement. It pays homage to the original Zambezi Zinger with the spiral lift and scenic turn. The ride will be a big hit among families stepping up to Prowler and Mamba, but also thrilling for enthusiasts with the Mystic Timbers-like layout. It reminds me of a small Gravity Group Woody. Zambezi Zinger looks great, but another reason this is number 1 is that Cedar Fair is finally investing in Worlds of Fun. Worlds of Fun is in a huge population center with Kansas City, so the park deserves some love, which is finally happening. I can't wait to see the future of Worlds of Fun. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. Comment on your favorite announcements and have a great rest of your day.